For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels post-game show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight-up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heady Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield postgame show. Yeah, I'm repping that bucket hat. Who cares? Hey, welcome in. It's Tuesday. The Angels lose. Heartbreaking loss tonight, 3-2 to the New York Mets. And again, another game you should have won. Another fucking game you should have won. But first and foremost, before we get into anything, your comments, your discussions, whatever you want to talk about tonight, which there's a lot to talk about, and we will get into all of it. You're watching the Halos in the Infield postgame show, the best postgame out there. Just ask Locked On. They'll tell you. They suck ass, by the way, and I just want to get that out of the way. Tired of those fools. Anyway, just want to say we're by the fans, for the fans, by the fans, and we're in the stands with you each and every home game, unlike those posers up the north, because that's what they are, the posers. And this team the Angels are posing like they want to be a winner, but they're not. And again, you got to seal the deal, man. You got to learn how to win, and you got to freaking and Daniel checks in on TikTok. Can't wait for the thank you fans post. And it's true, because listen, it's very frustrating to watch this baseball team on the nightly, because you see that they do have all kinds of competitive juices in them. They do have the right hitting at times. They can put the ball in play. You get opportunities like Shonawell's 4 hits tonight. Wow. Gooby's over there making a song to it, and it's like you love to have it. But the problem is they can just not be consistent. We've seen losses where they get like 2 runs. You get a couple of home runs here, you get a home run there. It's just, I don't know, man. They can't put anything together. And I know a lot of you right now on TikTok and other places are saying sell. And Daniel says, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Okay. I hope it's already not me. Anyway, the fact of the matter is this team has all kinds of issues, whether it's not the strongest starting pitching, it's a bend but don't break pitching, it's a bullpen that sometimes, gets a shoestring out to end a big challenge, like tonight, Zephyr John, who had that on the bingo card, Zephyr John getting that strikeout. But then you have all these chances tonight where, again, you need a hit. You need a hit in the worst possible way, and you just can't get it. And like Harami 96 says, 11 hits, only 2 runs. That's not going to cut it. Again, this team needs to score 4 or more. And last night's loss, because the way it blew up with the errors, and this one almost set up for the identical situation with those 2 errors in the 7th inning. This game could have got away from them, but it was right there. And then the fact of the matter is the Mets used their analytics and said, no, Edwin Diaz is not going to pitch 3 nights in a row. And you had a chance against Stanek. And guess who comes up to bat? Mike Nelson Trout. Mike Nelson Trout is one of the best players of all time. That may be true, but I think he's past his prime. And let me throw a hot take out there, everybody. And maybe you've heard the show before, maybe you've not. Maybe you're tuning in for the first time, maybe you're not. But I will tell you this. If the Angels are to keep Taylor Ward, and there's a pretty good chance they are, And Mike Trout's going nowhere. For all those people that always, get in and tag us and say, hey, what about Mike Trout? What do you think we can get for Mike Trout? You can't get anything. You can't get a bucket of baseballs. It's not because he's not worth it, because that contract is not worth it by any team. No team will touch that contract. So there's no doubt, and I always have to put this out there because I get called a Mike Trout hater. I always have to put this out there first and foremost. I love the guy. Wish the best for the guy. He's had injuries like Ken Griffey Jr. Yes. Is he an all-time great? Yes. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes. But we can't live off of past accomplishments. That'd be like if we're still paying Tim Salmon or Garrett Anderson for 2002. Their time is come and gone. So my point with Taylor Ward and Mike Trout, and I brought up the core six. If a guy, and you got Moore, you got all the young kids, right? And you could even throw in Kyron Paris if he ever finds his swing again, right? And you have a nice core in the lineup. Mike Trout and Taylor Ward, even though Taylor Ward's having a career year, his batting average still blows chunks. Impress me, Taylor Ward, when you come home against Seattle and Texas. If you come home against Seattle and Texas and hit 183 again, then we know exactly what you are. You're a phony. And guys like him and Mike Trout being passed by, like fastballs pass him by, which is very depressing because he was struck out on some very easy sinker balls and fastballs tonight, jammed on a fastball to end the game once again. I believe he's 0 for 9 with a game on the line this year. 0 for 9. When is the last time you've seen this guy productive in a clutch situation? I'll wait. And again, I went over this before in other episodes. I said, hey, when's the last time you've seen him win a game? Walk-off style. I'll wait. The game has passed Mike Trout by. And if we're going to hold on to these two guys, it's all about the core. It's all about the young core that's going to advance. They're going to get better. And they're going to grow together. And I say, Mike Trout, I say, Taylor Ward, bat those dudes 6'7". Oh my God, Todd, that's sacrilegious. You can't put them that low in the order. You did with Ohapi, and Ohapi's starting to flourish. At some point, Ohapi will find his swing again, and that dude can be right in the middle of your lineup. But right now, we've seen the best of Trout. And what's Trout doing in that situation tonight? And every other night that we need a clutch hit, strike out. Now, granted, I will give him this. He has come through a couple times and hit the ball with it. Hey, those inside-out swings. Hey, Wayne, did you see that inside-out swing? Hey! And he's gotten those. And yeah, he's gotten some singles like when they should have scored the run in the first inning. That was a nice swing. That was a nice hit. But the Mike Trout of driving in the runs, of getting the home runs, of just, listen, not even making contact, but the Mike Trout of I'm going to stand in the box and make the opposing pitcher shit himself, literally on the mound, it's gone. You tell me if a rookie comes up tomorrow to face Mike Nelson Trout in the box, you think his legs are wobbly at all? Do you think he's shaking in his boots? Do you think he's scared to throw that fastball? No, Alvarez, the catcher, is going to be like, give him the one. I want the fastball. Give me the one. And it's very, very sad. Some of you on TikTok and over here on YouTube are saying the same thing. No one wants to see our great Mike Trout go out like this. But the fact of the matter is he's lost a step or two. And to put this guy continually out there at a number 3, number 4 spot is a detrimental to this team. Detriment, I should say. I think you need to say, pass the baton. And they're not going to do it this year because just like Artie Moreno's ego, it's too big. They won't do it. But next season, you need to look yourself in the eye if you're one Perry Manassian and say, you know what? I think Trout is going to have to bat down the lineup. And whoever's the manager at the time is going to have to really say, hey, man, we got up-and-coming hitters. We got contact guys. We don't need our strikeout dudes in the most, because, man, how many times have we seen it this year where it's either in the 8th inning or 9th inning, Mike Trout has been given loads, and I'm talking about loads of opportunities with runners all over the bases, whether it's second and third, first and second, or just a runner at second. And they have an opportunity to say, you know what, let's walk Trout. And they've done it a couple times, but they've also said, no, we're giving this guy way too much credit. And they pitched to him. And every time Mike Trout has fed into the narrative of, hey, man, you can pitch to me. You can strike me out. That is really, really depressing because he's one of the best players of all time. And again, I'm not going to hammer his legacy. But again, at some point, this team has to say, okay, for the betterment of the team, what have you done for me lately, sir? Because at least with a guy who's like, again, I don't like the play of Taylor Ward, but dude's got 11 RBIs since the second half has started. I still am bullish about it because I don't think he's going to come through once they come home, because that's what Taylor Ward does. He's fantastic on the road, ass at home. And he actually threw somebody out for once. So he had a nice night tonight. But even I would love to see him out there at the number 3 spot other than Mike Trout. To me, you're putting up two guys who are very prone to striking out and very prone to not coming through in the clutch. Again, the road trip has been different for Taylor Ward, but for the most part, over his resume, over last year and the last years before that, but then you say, oh, well, Todd, you just said, what have you done for me lately? Well, yeah, lately, Ward, and I'm giving him his credit. But goddamn, how can we give Mike Trout credit? How many at-bats have we seen? We still don't get the reports that he's hitting the batting cages hard because he doesn't. There's no doubt that there's no way if the Angels wouldn't eat the contract of Albert Pujols, and they wouldn't do it and still haven't for Rendon, and probably won't next year. We'll probably see Rendon. Hey, he's a mentor for these young kids. Hey, a $38 million mentor next season for Rendon off the bench. If they're not willing to cut dead weight, and I'm not saying Mike Trout is dead weight, but I'm just saying he's not getting any better, dude. He's not. And it's going to be a generation of fans saying, man, this was your guys' hero. The kids are going to grow up being like, this is the dude that you guys paid extra money to go see. And it's like, yeah, well, he was great at one time. Just look up the YouTubes. It's very, very frustrating because, again, you want me to show you my reaction? Once Shonawell got that hit and it's first and second, momentum's in the Angels' favor. I'm sitting there watching on pins and needles, and I remember, oh crap, Mike Trout's up. So then I sit up in my chair like, all right, let's see how this ends. And I'm not sitting there as let's see how this ends in, oh man, walk-off, man. Or not a walk-off, but this could be a 2-run double. This could be a 3-run homer. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass like Wayne and Gooby. I'm literally sitting there like, okay, how's he going to blow this? And my dad was like, well, Todd, Mike Trout's not all that good, but I'll tell you this right now. If Trout can get on right now, you got Taylor Ward, the hottest hitter, going. And right there, my dad was spitting facts. Right there, you have basically your hottest hitter is not Mike Trout. It's Taylor Ward. And who would have thunk it? It's Taylor Ward on the on-deck circle. So I'm not feeling a hit or anything else like that. I'm like, okay, can Trout just get on base for Taylor Ward? That's what it's come down to. Think about it. I want you in the comments to tell me, when was the last time you saw Mike Trout get a go-ahead or game-winning walk-off hit? I'll wait, because the title of this pod tonight and this post-game show is Death, Taxes, and Mike Trout Not Clutch. And it's sad. It's literally sad because this team should be a lot better with him in there, not with him not out there. That's the problem. How is it worse with him in there? That's the most frustrating thing that I could think about as a fan. How can it be worse? I'll tell you how it's worse. He's in the freaking batting order at 3 in a clutch situation. He's got fans of the Mets who don't get to see this guy all year, and they're thinking, oh crap, Mike Trout's up there, thinking he's going to be clutch and he's going to come through. Man, it just sucks because this team could be a lot better, swear to God. And you lose these games. And let's go over the numbers for tonight's game too, because again, losing to the Mets, you had 2 runs, 11 hits, as some of you brought out, 2 big errors. The Mets getting their 3 runs all in the 5th inning. Hendricks actually was pitching good for a while and then just lost it in the 5th inning. And if that doesn't tell you something, with his fastball and changeup and curveball just not having the velocity, yes, they have the movement, but they don't have the velocity anymore. When they do catch up to him, he's toast. So what can he give you? I think if Hendricks stays on the roster, he can give you a long reliever type deal where he can fill in for 3 or 4 innings and be fine. Once or twice through the batting order and then yank him. Is he a starter anymore? Nope. So Frankie Montas, of all guys, gets the W. And this was a game that I circled before this series started that I thought for sure was a guaranteed win because Montas sucks against the Angels. Not so much tonight. Angels fall 4 games under 500 on the road and 3 games under 500 overall. They left 10 men on base, went 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Mancada was ass tonight, 3 strikeouts, 4 at-bats. The team had 11 strikeouts, only walking twice. See, a month ago, walking twice would be a bonus because they didn't walk at all. But they've been walking up to 4 times a game, so now it's back to walking hardly at all. You had another bad game for Zach Neto, 0 for 4 with a walk, 2 strikeouts. But like I said, 4 for 5 for Shonawell. But again, no one's behind him to pick him up. You had Trout 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Taylor Ward went 0 for 3 tonight. Adele went 0 for 4. The power of your lineup, supposedly, 3 through 6 went a combined, let's see, do my math, carry the 1. You went 1 for 12. 1 for 12 from spots 3 to 7. And then Soler pumped in the home run. Ohapi pumped in 3 hits. And Renifo pumped in 2 hits. So you had the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 guys. They actually went 6 for 12. But your 3 through 7 decided to go ass up 1 for 12. That's why you lost the game. Can't fault the pitching on this one in a way because, again, even though he had a bad inning, he still only allowed 3 runs. Again, you're allowing 4 runs or less. That's not bad. Even though it wasn't 6 innings, you still got an inning and third out of Brogdon. You got an inning out of Zephyr-John, although kind of messy. He still struck out the side. Fulmer gave you a clean or almost a clean inning in the 8th inning. But it wasn't the pitching's fault tonight. That's for damn sure. And again, another loss that should have been a win. And the Angels take the loss 3-2. Now here, who gets the Golden Stamos? So what you got right now, the Golden Stamos for best player on the field. I'm going to give it to an Angel, even though Montas wasn't impressive. 5 2/3, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 8 hits allowed. But you had, I'm going to give it to Shonawell, 4 hits. Again, putting it where they ain't. And that's the kind of hitter that we like to see. I like to see the fact that he put it out there and did a good job. So it is it is what it is right there, getting the nice game tonight, but it wasn't in a winning effort. Now, who gets the Nacho Night Award for worst player on the team?
For the worst performance of the night. Congratulations. Sail ships, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
Nacho Night Award, I think it's going to be shared by two people, and that's Mancada and that's Shaunawell. Not Shaunawell, I'm sorry. Mancada and Trout. Trout, I'm just so sorry. I'm so sorry I have to do it, man, but you just keep whiffing, dude. Between the two guys, 5 strikeouts, and then that pitch that was inside on your hands, why would you swing at that, man? Like, why the fuck would you swing at that? Terrible swing right there. That cost him right there. Tough way to lose a game. And again, losing on a stupid inside pitch like that. Angels take the loss 3-2. Let's get into some more comments right there. Grand slam off of Chris Sale at Angel Stadium. Brandon says, Casper, how long ago was that, though, Brandon? Like, how long ago was that? That's a long time ago, bro. Again, he hasn't done the whole time. What is it called? He has not done anything in a long time like that. And that's what's sad. We want more, we want more moments. The thing about superstars is you can look at like Trout's early years and he got a lot of moments. He made a lot of moments. You can look at our ex-girlfriend Ohtani. That dude made all kinds of moments, not in Angels uniform, but with the Dodgers. People look back at Ohtani. It's like, okay, he had some moments of individual, greatness, but he never had that kind of streak that he's been doing with the Angels or the Dodgers. He's had all kinds of moments. So again, like Ruben said, what have you done for me lately, man? And he hasn't done anything. And Mateo says, it's spritz o'clock. I need a drink after this one, man.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? Like better than losing.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
The more and more I think about it, and I said it last night, the only way that this team would get to the postseason this year is to win the majority of your games or of your series and stuff like that. But they needed to not win 2, then lose 3, then win 3, then lose 2, and vice versa, right? You need to win. You need to have a winning streak like they did earlier in the year where they won 8 in a row, but not every time, but maybe win 4 in a row, then lose 1, then pick it back up with 3, and so on, right? They're never going to stay over 500 with this kind of baseball team or this kind of play. And the fact of the matter that there's still only 4 out of the wild card blows my fucking mind, because if they had put together 4 wins here, 1 loss here, 3 wins here, 1 loss there, 6 wins here, 2 losses there, and so on, this team would be firmly 2+ in the wild card. Instead, you still have dead and dying teams circling the drain with the Angels. Like, they don't have to circle the drain by themselves. No, we have company. We have Kansas City underperforming. We have the Ohio shitfucks underperforming. We have the Minnesota Twins underperforming. We have the Baltimore Orioles underperforming. We could have jumped ahead of them and not been circling the same goddamn drain. But this team refuses to do what's right. And they're only still a couple games back of Texas, who has been limping their way through the season. So again, if they could have just put anything together, any kind of streak here and there, more than just 2 wins in a row, and stop losing series or blowing games, they'd be right there with Tampa and Boston, if not ahead of them. Instead, you have 3. Again, all these teams are within striking distance, all of them. But you can't put up enough wins to stay with them. But the most frustrating thing is, look, if we're going to die, then just shoot us. Take us behind the barn and put a bullet in the Angels' head and make it over. Let's sell and that be it, right? But no, because the American League sucks ass so bad, and there's worse than mediocre teams here with better records than us, and it makes no sense. They keep losing when we lose. And when we decide to actually scratch one in the W column, they all decide to win. So we don't go anywhere. We're still in the same stupid spot within striking distance, which means it gives me hope that, hey, they're going to come back at some point and they're going to make a play and they're going to get back in this. And then there's the realists that are like, this team is toast. Stick a fork in it. But you can't stick a fork in it because it won't die. For some reason, they are staying alive. And then right when they are making moves, and you're like, oh, damn, they look good. Everybody else wins. And then all their work or the game's work for that night goes for shit. Goes for nothing. I think that is the most frustrating thing watching this goddamn team. I hate when they do this shit. Twitch says the Angels love to choke. I agree. 13 games at home in a row soon. Again, and Harami says, so you're saying there's a chance. That's the problem, because there is a chance. Total fuckery this series. Double the hits, 1 or less run, and more Gold Glove defense. Max says, yo! Also, Mateo says, balls, and oh no, we suck again. And that's the problem. We suck again at the worst time.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and balls. Oh, no! We suck again!
Yep. And then Max says, this is my first time been in early in this stream. Andrew says, sell, because these guys are out of here. Mo also says, so many wasted opportunities on Trout. Damn right. Mateo says, we were losing as soon as I turned the game on. I didn't watch the first few innings. Max says, I kept on refreshing the YouTube channel until this game came up, but somehow it came up when I kept on refreshing. There you go. Also, Mateo says, even though we make fun of him, what a heads-up play for the double play up at Soto. That was a great play that he did. Taylor Ward made a nice play. Trout is lost at the plate. I agree. Arturo says, what do you think happens at the deadline if we win tomorrow and win the series of Mariners in Texas? We're buying, baby. We're buying. But Paisa says, fire sale, everything must go. Yeah, we won't do that. No matter how bad we lose. If we lose every game to the deadline, they'll find a way to buy. Mo says, I also think tonight marked the end of the intentional walk to Trouty. Those days are done. Yeah, I agree right there. Max says, and do you mean to spell Trout's last name wrong? Yes, I did it way too fast. I just fixed it. No Newman or Wade Jr. to start the game. Q Lombardi. Yeah, we should have won with that lineup. What the hell's going on out here? By the way, and I have some insider information that I only give out to my people, and you heard it first here. So if you hear those cocked on boys and the cocked on post game say that they came up with this or they have inside information, I have inside information. So we are getting that Riverwalk for the Angels. Number one. Number two, we are getting a OC vibe on the Anaheim side. The only holdback is it going to be with the Samuelis owning the whole thing, or are they going to partner with Artie? Either way, it's going to happen. And the city council is going to come down on Artie at the end of the year. And that's going to play into it, whether or not he's going to be part of it and get the land that he wants. So there you go. Big things happening by 2030, 2031 in the Anaheim area. You're going to have a San Antonio-like Riverwalk. You're going to have either owned by the Ducks or the Angels at the time, a OC vibe on the other side of Catella. And it's going to be just one big-ass shopping center / fun time / downtown Disney / I guess outlet stores, everything. Everything's going to be there. Fun and games for the whole family. Restaurants galore. It's all going to be there. So be on the lookout for that. My inside sources told me on that. Let's see. Also, let me go back to his comments down here. Also, Saucy says they play like a team that only cares about their stats. It does look like that at times. Mateo says, let's just wave the white towel at this time. At this point, I generally feel bad for Hendricks. He's pitched his ass off every time, and then we lose. Eric says, oh no, we suck again.
Oh, no! We suck again!
LT says leave Fermin in New York. We could have been 2 games back of the wild card if we would have if we would have not lost again. Again, that's what happens to bad teams. Caesar says time to bench Trout. Berserk Zero says Taylor Ward threw someone out. Q Lombardi. That is the craziest play. That was actually perfect throw to first base.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, Lombardi's like, what the hell is going on out there? Also, hey Todd, is it okay if I want to cry? Yes, sir. Saucy says Hendricks kind of feel like a good bullpen pitcher. They catch up with him in a hurry once he gets through the lineup. That's what I was saying earlier. Mateo says, so Todd, when do the paper bags come out? Give it a few weeks. EQ. Angel's grandma says, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. That's sad. I feel bad for Angel's grandma. Plus shipping, Mateo says. Caesar says, guaranteed we are going to be sellers at the trade deadline. Mario says Mike Trout is so clutch, and then he uses a very fresh reference. Not.
What the hell's going on out here?
Andrew says maybe this team is missing the 20 Deos every game. Oh yeah, we only get 2, and they did play a lot there in New York.
Dale!
Yep. Also, you got EQ saying, bro, Hendricks pitched badass today besides that inning. Just need Reed Detmers to get 3 or 4 innings if possible, or another pitcher. And that would make sense if you're not going to lock him in to a 7th or 8th inning role. I think pitching Detmers every other day, if this team wants to do that, give him 2 or 3 innings at a time, and he could eat that up for you. But no. Jesus says, oh shit, here we go again, backwards in the direction under 500 again. What's the trust about this team?
Oh shit, here we go again.
I mean, do we have a chance at the playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Nick says this team is so infuriating. Every wild card team has 53 to 54 wins. We're right there, arguably, especially with a long homestand coming up. But no doubt we'll take advantage as always. But doubt we'll take advantage as always. And that's the problem. They play better on the road, yet you lose these games you should win on the road. And you come home and you're not going to score, and you're going to lose those games. And you're going to be asked out. Tamir 20 says Angels pay $35+ million a year for this choke artist, Mike Trout. Max says, I have you on my TV in the living room. I have you on my phone so I could comment. That's cool, Max. Mario says, you know what I think is cool? He's fat.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out.
Calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
Morbus says 70 wins, 80 wins, 75 wins, same old, same old. And that's the problem. They're going to be at 500 again. And you look at that team, Morbus, and, you know, what could win a wild card spot is just 80, I'd say 84 to 86 wins. So that's not much better than 500, but they can't even get there. You can't even get there. It's sad. Watch. I'm going to type in something here and see how pathetic this is to you. So let's see here. We go down right here. Okay, so let's look at this. Since the last time the Angels made the playoffs, in 2015, they barely missed the playoffs. They were 3 games back, 85 and 87, right? Or 85 and 77. 2016, 74 and 88. 2017, 80 and 82. 2018, they're like, hey, let's run it right back again, 80 and 82. 2019, 72 and 90. The year that didn't count, 26 and 34. The next year in 2021, 77 and 85. 2022, 73 and 89. 2023, they said, guess what? Let's run it back again. So 73 and 99. 2024, 63 and 99. Worst ever record in franchise history. This year, 49 and 51. Do you see anything changing? Do you see the same pattern? I do. And here's the thing, too. When you have teams that habitually just go 500 or worse, the year they should have fucking blew the whole damn thing up was 2019. They didn't do it. Okay, so you didn't blow it up in there. You didn't blow it up in the COVID year, right? Blow it up in 2021. Nope, can't do that. We got to try to contend. If they would have blown it up in 2021, you'd be miles ahead right now. You'd probably would have a 10 or better game above 500 record right now. But no, can't do that. Can't do that. That's smart. Can't do that. That makes sense. Archangel says the only fastballs that Mike Trout can hit are the ones at a PDD freak off with baby oil. Mateo says, I'm telling you right now, if this team falls off in early August, I will not be motivated to watch games. That's a lot of Angel fans. And by the way, it's hard to hold a baseball bat with baby oil. Also, I was a season ticket holder for years, man. Always a fan. Just gets old, man. And I'm sorry, Morbus. I really am. I apologize to you, and I'm not even fucking associated with the team. I don't get paid by the team. The team organization has kicked me out because I brought in sell the team shirts before. They know who I am, but they don't respect me. I've asked for interviews. I've asked for press passes. They won't give it to me, but they'll give it to guys like Cockton. If they were down here, but they live up north, they're not real fans. But I apologize to you, and I apologize to other fans in behalf of a team that doesn't support me or doesn't respect me, because I don't want you as a fellow fan to experience years of losing and experience years of just torment by other fans, whether it's rivals, whether it's also fans that, come from the team up north, or, Padres fans usually treat us with respect, but not the team up north and other baseball teams. And they're always saying, oh, you wasted Trout, you wasted this, and we're tired of the narrative, right? And you're tired of that. And I apologize to you guys, because you guys shouldn't have to feel that. I shouldn't have to go through that. At some point, you have to put a winner together. At some point, you got to listen to your fans. It's not like I just started saying, hey, we should have blown this thing up. It's not like other people and yourself and others said, hey, we should have blown this thing up. We should have traded Trout when he had all of value, right? All this stuff. We should have traded Ohtani and gotten a buttload of prospects back. Didn't do that either. All those moves could have turned this team into a winner without Trout, without Ohtani, without Rendon. You don't need the stars. You didn't need the stars. You could have had ketchup, mustard, and relish out there in the outfield. You could have had mayonnaise behind the plate. And guess what? Your ass is going to go to the team store and pay $200 for that mayonnaise jersey if he's headed to the All-Star game. And I'm going to go buy that ketchup center fielder jersey, because that dude's exciting. He makes plays in center field. I don't care if he's from Venezuela. I don't care if he's from Korea. I don't care if he's from the U.S. I don't care. I just want to see winners. I don't care if they're a goddamn alien. I just want what's good on the field. I don't need Christmas in June. I don't need Star Wars weekend. I don't need fireworks Saturday. We're tired of that as a fan base. But do you think that Artie Moreno for 1 minute gives a shit about what I say or what you say? Then you're fooling yourself, because all he cares about is, do the fans want to pay for a package of 4 hot dogs, 4 tickets, and 4 sodas? Will that get them in the park? Because I know goddamn well their kids will ask for candy. Their kids will ask for cotton candy. They will buy something at the team store. They will park in my parking lot. And that's where the money comes from. Not the ticket sales. That's where it comes from. Oh, we're going to get people that don't even like baseball that will come and watch Star Wars. That's what we'll sell. Bucket hats. That's what we'll sell. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about the fans and what they go through, and how this team has been a family member to you, or it's been a friend to you, or it's been a release to you. It's been relief to you, but it's also been frustrating to you. It's also been a pain in the ass because they don't win. They don't win. And what's that one saying that's always said? Winning cures everything. So if I'm an owner and I take this team over tomorrow, I don't give a shit what we're pumping at the stadiums. I don't care what we're selling. I don't care about our ticket prices. I don't care about what the logo looks like. I care about winning, and I try to put the best team together possible. Within budget, over budget, doesn't matter. I want to win. I'm going to build the best organization from within, and then they will come. Then the fans will be excited again. Then guys will come back with their families and so on and so on. Kids will grow up with a winning culture, and they won't want to emulate the guy up north. They'll want to emulate whoever's here. That's the whole point of things. That's the whole point. If you are on the same wavelength as a fan, as an owner. If you're not, you'll get what we have now, where the biggest news is not where this franchise is going to go, the expectations for seasons to come. It's, man, we're going to have a Riverwalk in Anaheim. We're going to have another OC vibe. Artie will get his land. And everybody will have to just, hey, all he cares about is, Artie's not racist to the color green because that's what he loves the most. Doesn't care about me and you. He cares about green. So, again, if this team is to turn it around, they're not going to tear it apart like most teams do that are tired of losing, like the Detroit Tigers, like Baltimore before they bombed this year, and other teams that have done it the right way. The Rays and other teams have just said, hey, I don't need a star. I want winners. If this star is starting to fade, we're not going to pay him for previous and prior accomplishments. If he's not doing it now, let's move him on. Let's get other players in here who can. And if they have to go on the cheap, if the Angels got to play it like the Rays, then fine. I'm good with that too. I just want to win. I just want to get to the postseason. I want to be relevant. We haven't been relevant. We're not getting to the postseason. It's just going to be another long season. Sorry, I just got on a freaking I just got it. Mr. My Girl is 0 for 31. Yeah, that's true, Pedro. That's a Mets fan right there. Or talking about the Mets Lindor. Also, a nickel for every time Mike Trout was not clutch, I'd be a millionaire, Nate says. I'm in Vegas going to the game Friday, hoping for Kikuchi or Soriano for the W. Neto and Adele are good prospects, would have made noise. True. But I don't think you trade those guys. Also, a Mets fan. Good luck. Angels win the division. We hate the Astros. Boy, you're going to have to send us all the luck, Pedro. It ain't happening. I think the Angels are better than people thought they are. They're turning around, but it takes a long time. And when you've had this many years of suck, it's harder to accept that. Brett says, trade every last one of them. Hating on Trout is ridiculous and should be ashamed of for any slander. If you want to keep believing in him, Brett, I have no problem with that. I'm giving you my personal feelings. It's not hate. I'm just asking, when's the last time that dude has been clutch? And right now, I've seen more clutch performances from Adele. Hell, even freaking Ward. You've seen it from Ohapi. You've definitely seen it from Neto. You've actually seen a couple clutch moments from the young rookie and freaking Christian Moore. Steph says bullpen did their jobs, needs the offense to come through. Chris says Trout must be having his home runs and RBI milestones for saving him for the homestand. Typical. Also, Jesus says Mike Trout is not a Hall of Famer with the performances. Prove me wrong. I think, dude, he is going to be a Hall of Famer for sure. Rumors that the Angels could listen to Adele. I think that would be so stupid if they got rid of him. When will Moore be back? Moore is going to be back, from what I heard, sometime on the homestand, whether it's Seattle or Texas. Or it could even be the first week of August. They are nursing that hand big time. Eric says we're better this year, but rotation unlikely to be healthy and consistent next year. That's the problem. That's why you got to beef it up in free agency. Saucy says, I knew Trout would choke. I was hoping that he would try to work another walk. I was thinking the same. Arturo says keep Neto, Shonawell, Moore, Ohapi, Adele, build around them. Yep, the young core. Trade everyone, sell. Caesar says Trout seems like he's going through the motions. He's already on the golf course. Also, Mario says, all hate aside, I like the young cores of players, and we have a future if we can keep them together. Amen on that. Q Homer, we are the suckiest team to ever suck. Yeah, that that's tough with this team, man. Another losing performance, man. Again, on a game we should have won. We didn't win, and it was an epic fail.
One more loss, which could have been a win. You call yourselves professionals. I have never, ever seen a worse group of 25 players. You don't think as a team. You don't play as a team. You don't even lose as a team.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Mateo's right there about the Hall of Famer. Eric says also note to next year, quit signing Perry, these over-the-hill pitchers who blow. Kikuchi was a nice signing, but Hendricks and Anderson are a Band-Aid on pitchers at best. Sign some real pitchers. I agree. Saucy says watching Adele call off Renifo just to jog up and watch the ball bounce ahead of him was hilarious. That was sad, actually. Also, RGT says would be nice to get another top-notch pitcher next season and a new owner. Also, Neto always scares me at the plate as a Mets fan. Neto is a very scary player. When he's on, he's really on, and he takes pitches. He's a good young player. He's only going to get better. Frostblaze says, once again, our situational baseball is ass, but don't worry, guys. There's a lot of baseball left to be played. And guess what? The season starts tonight.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
JT says, my prediction is that we will do nothing during the trade deadline. You might be right. Silent E says, I don't give a fuck how good Mike Trout is or has been decent right now, and his team sucks because they lack one thing. They need talent. They keep relying on these young players to work. They do need a veteran leader, and unfortunately, again, the team is growing together. They will get that leader in Captain in Neto. I think Neto is going to be the El Capitan. Also, I've seen enough, man. We need to sell. Edgar says Trout striking out to Rico Garcia is a reality that we live in. Who should the Angels target in the offseason? We need a third baseman, a true ace for sure. Should the Angels be buyers or sellers at this point? Sellers. Right now, and Robert Walker says Trout can't hit a fastball anymore, and he's not clutch. And he checks in with
this fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out. He's going to calm down, okay? All right. He's fat.
I think right now, as a third baseman in the future, it's hard to say because I know the free agent class. I'd have to look at who's coming up on free agents, but definitely they're going to have to put their money in the bin for an ace. I really thought they were going to get an ace this year, and they didn't do it again. Mike Trout hasn't been able to hit a fastball since 2022. Eric Ward says these delusional MFers on FanDuel actually convinced themselves that we can get a wild card berth. Q Bally's. And again, you can't win if you're not separating yourself from the other teams. We're staying right there. Caleb says Trout slander will not be tolerated. Well, I mean, dude, hit me with some facts, Caleb. Like hit me with some facts. Like how do you defend a guy who can't catch up to a fastball right now? What's he doing that's not working right now, in your opinion? I want to hear it. I just want to hear, what do you think Trout needs to do? Because I said in the offseason he needs to slim down. He slimmed down a little bit, but he needs to change his swing. He needs to shorten up the swing. You know, he needs to stop trying to hit power all the time. Stop swinging at stuff that's letter high. Keep it down in the strike zone. Put the barrel of the bat even. What other ideas do you have? I just want to know, because again, I will stop the slander, because again, I will slander every player on the team when they deserve it. I will praise every player on the team when they deserve it. That's what you do as a fan. It's okay to boo. I know that some of you have listened to other shows like AM 830 or Cox, Locked on Cox, and you know they tell you you can't boo because that hurts the players' feelings. You can't boo. That's just not nice. It's not nice. No, you pay to watch the games, whether you're at the stadium or you're on FanDuel, your phone. You're paying to one of these streaming services. You're doing it somehow. If you feel like you're stealing it through your little firebox or whatever, you're still paying the internet. You're still paying for the internet, so you're still paying to watch the set team. You're still investing your time, which is another form of payment. So again, it's okay to boo. It's okay to say, the guy's not good anymore. So Caleb says, I'm talking more about him not being clutch. He's never been clutch, so why do we get so upset? Because, Caleb, superstars are supposed to be clutch. I can look at that 760 million, what's his name? Juan Soto, and look at him and say, okay, I can come up with a lot of clutch moments for him. And to me, Mike Trout's better than Juan Soto. He just is, but not now, because when he needs to get a base hit, he can get you a base hit. When Trout needs to get you a base hit, he can't. when he'll hit you a solo blast in the second inning and just rest the rest of the night. We need him to be working walks if he's not getting hits. We need for him to be getting sacrifice flies, which granted he's done a little bit better this month. But again, this guy's supposed to be one of the best hitters in the league. Why is he third or fourth ranked as far as home runs on the team? Well, he missed a lot of time. Well, that's not our fault. He should be on the field more. Shouldn't be getting injured, but that's who he is. And I still okay. So he still has one of the highest OPSs on the team. Absolutely. But again, when this team is dying for clutch at bats, it's dying for runners in scoring position. So don't win me the game, Trout. You can't win me the game. Fine. Come through earlier in the game. Get me a hit with runners in scoring position. You don't have to be an all-star. You don't have to be a superstar. You just have to come through every now and then. He's not hitting all that great when there's guys on base either. Kmart shopping is not good for pitchers. Even Seth Hernandez isn't afraid of Mike Trout. Silent E says, Frostblaze says, I was listening to the radio in the ninth inning, and Langston is seemingly our only broadcaster that shows frustration when they lose. It's true. I feel for that guy too. Vote for Bond says Harper moved to first, and now he's looked like one of the best in the league. Trout is too prideful to even move from center field to right field. You're right on his ego is going to define his 30s. Caleb says first inning, and he roped a hit to the outfield, and Nolan. Yeah, I saw that. And it was the difference in this game, and that's a good point. And that's, again, I like talking back and forth with fans because, again, you bring up a good point. I'm not shitting on your comment. I totally agree. That was a good hit. Nolan's not fast. If Nolan had any kind of speed, he beats that throw, and that's an RBI for Trout, hands down. But my whole thing is, where was the rest of the game? Where was that yesterday's game? We need more hits like that from him. So I'll give you that. That wasn't his fault. He did come through in that situation. Dollar Tree pitching right there. Tamir 20 says Piggly Wiggly. Also, Silent E says Ohtani proved the world how not clutch Trout is in the World Baseball Classic. And that one, I think, hurt me as a fan to see our guy go over there and then, get the strikeout on Mike Trout. It was like, God damn it. That's the one where I wanted to see Trout go deep off of him and just be like, yeah, up yours. But no. Tamir 20 says Adele had a nice catch tonight. He sure did. That was a nice one. Shawnuel is more clutch than Trout. Wow, that's facts right there by Tamir 20 says. Blood Moon says, after last night's collapse, I knew they would lose the series. And you know what, Blood Moon? At the end of last night's show, I did say that too. Last night, I was like, God damn it, dude. The way this team took one on the chin last night, it's going to really take some motivation and some turn the page logic and get a fresh start type of cliche to get this team to win. And it was going to be a tough win tonight if they were to get it, and they just couldn't pull through when it counted. Eric Ward says, even though Artie sucks, let's give Perry some shit. This idiot's free agent signings in the offseason and acquisitions like Wade and Taylor are pathetic. This is the same loser who brought Squid and the Dong. True. Facts. Mike Trout needs to gather up his shit and take it to the shit store. And I think he's referring to Marty right here.
Well, then get your shit together.
Morty.
Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together. And if you got to take it somewhere, take it somewhere, Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just got to get it together. Get your shit together.
And that's the other thing, too. Caleb brings up last night, Tyler gave up 2 runs. They left him in there, though. He wound up giving up 4 because they let him start the 7th inning, and then they put in – and that was a bullpen mismanagement last night. That was not on the offense because they gave you the 5 runs. So I'll give you that, too. But it was definitely on the defense and also on the bullpen management. I mean, Detmer should have started that 7th inning, hands down. Tyler says, don't worry, there's another bullpen game tomorrow. Oh, that works so many. I love it, dude. That besides that in the opener, so many teams still they just love scratching each other's and they're like, oh man, it's I love this whole opener thing. I love the bullpen games. It works so good. It never works. It literally never works. And the one time it does, they shove it down our throat. Dan says, I had only the SNY stream tonight. Even Ron Darling said that Rendon's contract was terrible. Tyler says the bucket hat is the only positive thing tonight. Also, Caleb says, Mike will get hot. We saw it before in the All-Star break. He had a really good stretch before that. Pedro says, remember the Astros cheated. Interim manager is so bad. Tyler has a history of being good for 6. You don't ever push it. 100%. We said that last night on the show. We were very frustrated in the way that he managed that game, and that's what led to the loss. As far as Mike Trout getting hot again, no one would love to see it more than me. But will he do it? And I hope he does. I hope he gets locked in because this team is way better when he is. But I think there's going to come a time where you're going to have to slide him down the order, and you're going to have to let the young kids take the keys to the car. Put grandpa in the back seat. Mo says there are people getting their phones out in New York to film Trout's at bats if they only knew. And they don't know. Nick says it's been years since he's been clutch from what I can remember. He whiffs all the time, Nick says. Grounds out, pops out, and always takes a cookie right down the middle. Mario says, I could take the loss tonight. Yesterday was just BS. And that's true. They played their ass off tonight, but ruined it by not getting runners in scoring position home. And because of that, they took the loss.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Blood Moon says, should have pinch hit for Trout. Knew he was not. See, you're never going to do that. That's the problem. You're never going to do that. You're always going to give him a chance to do something special, Blood, but you got to slide him down the lineup, at least that. Apparently, Artie gives Perry the green lights in free agency, but Perry goes pins and needles. Corey says, I truly believe if Ron was still managing, it'd be completely different. Trout was great in the 5 spot. Facts. Coming off injury, it made me mad when they changed that. Facts again. Again, you can't argue that. When he was batting 5th, he just looked better. Same thing with Ohapi now at 7. When they had him around 3 or 4, he couldn't hit his way, into the ocean if he was in the middle of the ocean on a boat. But now it seems like he's more confident. There's less pressure. Some guys can't take that pressure. Pedro says, anyway, the 2002 team of Angels can come together and buy the Angels from Artie Moreno. No, they were never paid that good. Adele has cooled off, Mo says. Angels grandma says, what is Rendon's injury? Is he coming back this season? Is he making an effort to return? First question, Angels grandma, it's a thigh injury. He had surgery. And is he coming back this season? No, he's going to take that $38 million that Artie gave him and put it into his bank account with a smile. Is he making an effort to return, Angels grandma? Hell no, not whatsoever. Big Red says Sam Ward with that throw from left field to the outfielder because at first base. Thought to myself, no way we can win with Ward playing that kind of once in a blue moon defense. I was right. Also, James says balls, and shit. Here we go again.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and
John Stamos.
No, not John Stamos. Where is the shit one? I had it right here. Damn it. Here. No, that's the we suck again. Damn it. I thought I had it queued up. No, I don't have it queued up. Damn it.
My lips, you're ruining it. Ruining.
Let's try it again. Okay, so balls.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
See, it would have went so much better if I did it right the first time. Caesar says, rest in peace, Ozzy. Play some Sabbath. I would if I could not get a strike. If I wasn't guaranteed a strike, Ozzy Osbourne. What a way to finish his career, man. He had that great concert with all those people paying their respects, and he literally dies 2 weeks later. I was in Cleveland when Trout came back for his first game since injury, and he was on base machine. Detroit Lions says, do you think do you all still use the rally monkey thing? Yes, we do, but it doesn't work anymore. And just like a Detroit fan would say, I haven't paid attention to them in a while. And why would you? Why would you? We haven't been relevant. And congratulations to your Tigers for playing their ass off, for reconstructing a team, tearing it down the right way, and building from within. I applaud you guys congratulations, Detroit. And I am rooting for you guys to come out the AL this year. I really am. I'm not bullshitting you. I would like a new team to get it done, and Detroit deserves a championship. And I hope you guys get it. I really hope you guys get it. I really hope you guys get it because your fan base deserves it. If the Lions can't come through, I really hope you guys can get it. You guys deserve it. And as long as you guys beat the Dodgers in the World Series, I will buy myself a Tigers hat and a jersey because fuck the Dodgers. I'm rooting for any team that beats the Front. See, there you go. Caleb and I are in the same spot. Same thing right there. Dan Rios says, trade Trout to Philly, eat that contract. The roster is more important. Also, Blood Moon says, I don't think they'll ever get over 500 this season. This curse of Artie is at the helm. Big Red says, is it hockey yet? Balls over Disneyland. Mario says, also, I used to say Trout might have another MVP season left in him. I just don't see it anymore. It's a bummer if it's true. I guess we need to keep our composure. I think we do. And back at you, Detroit. Best of luck, man. Best of luck on your Tigers. Robert says, I don't think we will win either the Seattle or Texas series. We suck against the AL West. And that's another thing. Angels will never be that good if you can't get the wins in your own division. And the last, 7 years, they get outbeat in their own division. Mario says, am I the only one that notices a guy with a huge contract? They mostly suck or are constantly injured for the rest of their career. Q Lombardi. And that's why, folks, we will not have baseball in 2027. What the hell's going on out here? We need to eliminate that. Mateo says, you know what's fat? Them contracts.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out. Calm down, okay? All right? He's fat.
Jesus says more support for Samuelis than Artie right there. Max also says, why does Ray Montgomery have to be our manager? Because we can't, who else is going to coach us down the freaking, down the stretch here? You're not going to bring back Ron. Daniel says 2030 Artie will still be own the team and be alive. Going to be at that game Friday for the bobblehead. I will be there, Daniel. If you want to come by, say hi in 260. I'm always there. Fairs says Mets sweep. Yeah, well, congratulations. You're welcome. We gave that series to you for sure. You at least won it. They have the longest playoff drought. Pretty sad. That is us. Mario says, good news. Football's around the corner. Halos Forever says, I'm wondering why they let the bullpen after the starter is done, or I wonder why they go to the bullpen after the starter is done. Because that's what you do in baseball. LV says, we're so fucked. Also, throw away this series. The season starts tonight, baby. So he's willing to turn the page and keep our composure.
Come on, all right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to keep our composure.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Here's Rally Chris, the ever so optimistic, says it's a 13-game homestand. We need to go 9-4 or 8-5. Is that possible the way this team's been playing? Hell no. Also, Detroit says, so what NFL team do the Angel fans root for? San Francisco. It's weird, Detroit fan, because of not having the Rams and Raiders and Chargers here until we got them back, and most fans don't want them or didn't want them because they have their own teams that they root for out of market. So there's just a huge, contingent of fans in the LA area that don't root local. That's why the Rams are embarrassing when they play home games, because every team that comes to SoFi, they overtake the Rams fan base. Same thing with the Chargers. So it's basically everyone likes who they like, and that's it. There's really no solid team here, and that's just, it's going to take years of winning for that to come back and years of tradition. But for the short term, and since they've been back, again, it's San Francisco South right here. It's LA Raiders or Oakland Raiders or whatever they're called when they come here. Cowboys take it over. Packers take it over. My Seahawks take it over. Every team that comes here takes it over. Mario says last year we started talking football in April. Q Lombardi. Yeah, at least it's gone a little longer this year. Also, 1 step forward, 5 steps back. Mateo, I want to throw away the season, 4 games out. of the playoffs right there. It's not like we're 7 games out. I don't want to throw the season away, Rally Chris says. Sell the team, already out, Luke Johnson says. Vote for Bond says they couldn't blow it up because they signed Ohtani based off of 2018 of telling him that they were going to compete. Do you think the Angels whiff on Ohtani that they rebuild and actually became good? If they did sell him, there was several teams that were going to give us many prospects. At one point, Tampa wanted to offer 4. You had 5 players being offered by Baltimore, but we said no because we cared about the money. And yeah, that doesn't work. Also, I was at the Chargers-Lions game in 2023. It was 70% Lions fans. Exactly. They take over everything. Todd Marshall wants to respect you. Hey, also the Archangel says, I'm putting a $200 bounty on anyone who gets me proof that Gavin at a Dodger game wearing Dodger gear. I would like that too, because I guarantee you he's a Dodger fan. Also, I can't wait for the next series because we get to see the Master Boney guy. Yeah, that guy is something else. Silent E says, isn't Whittier technically LA County, Todd? I say it's close enough to Orange County to have Angels fans. I can't talk much shit because I lived in Whittier for a little while when I was still in California. Yes, I believe it is. I'm right on the freaking border. Like literally I'm walking distance to Orange County because La Mirada is right around the corner, but I am Whittier. That is considered LA. So yeah. But I'm still an Angel fan all the way through. Bill says, you're the man, Todd, the most grounded, honest Angels commentary anywhere, man. Fuck being an Angels fan. I don't mean that. I'm just sad. And it's okay. It's okay to say fuck you to the team every now and then. It really is. Because again, you got to wear your heart on your sleeve. You got to be there from when they're bad. You got to be there from when they're good. It's like that freaking meme when you have the you know, like I'm mad at you, but you got the umbrella over the raining, you know, the rain coming down. You're not shielding yourself. You're shielding the logo of the Angels. You're not shielding Artie Moreno. We're getting Master Boney for my birthday. That just sounds wrong, Rally Chris. Detroit Lions says that background is dope as hell. You have the whole Angels collection and stuff. That's cool as hell. I appreciate that, man. Got all them jerseys behind me, man. Mic turned off. There we go. I think, am I good on sound? I got to check the sound again because I think there we go. It got botched right there. But I appreciate that. Wolfman says Angels, Whittier, Lambert first. I'm actually close to Lambert. I'm not too far off from Lambert right there. Let's see. Also, let's get down to some more of these comments. Mike Trout is cooked. We still have him in 2030. That recount of the Angels season record of 2015 hurts a lot. I'm sorry. Also, dude, it's still so far behind in these comments. I apologize. Also, will the new OC vibe have an Orange Julius? I doubt it. Death taxes and the Angels collapsing after the All-Star break. Morbus says $4 beers is the best part of going to the Angels Stadium right now. Actually, partying in the parking lot is. I love tailgating out there. Mig says Trout has a 515 OPS in late and closing spots this season. That's a problem too. Luke says this team is better with Mike Trout in the lineup. Point blank, there's no argument. It's true, but he just needs to be slid down the lineup a bit. Phillies are interested in Adele and Ward. That would suck with Adele. I really want to keep him. Ward, I can deal with him going. The apocalypse is among us. Ward is more clutch than Trout. Wow. Lee says, hey, Todd, in the words of George Costanza, I got nothing to say. Mo says Adele comes from that Canseco school of defense. He does. It's bounced off his head. Todd, balls in my mouth. Moans of pleasure. Why does that make me laugh so much? Trout says, we suck balls and I suck balls. Jeez. Eric Ward says, where's Mr. Moreno? Ditch that hooker and call in. Yeah, we got to talk to him very soon here. Never forget my 2019 year, Mike Trout says, when I was hurt the majority of the year, ended the season with 40 homers. Take that, Todd. Also, Billy says, seeing that Trout is a 353 with runners in scoring position in this season in that last at bat was shocking to me. Exactly. I don't get where those stats come from, to be honest with you. Neto is going to lead this team while Hoppy keep leading Neto away from Takis. Vasquez says, missed the game, saw 10 hits with 2 errors. What happened? A whole lot of not getting the job done, Vasquez. Max says, we can watch MLB games for free because my dad gets the MLB TV free with T-Mobile. There you go. Mario says, Todd said, locked on Cox. That's their programming. I mean, if you don't believe me, just listen to them.
Crazy. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back. What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson. Don't get it twisted. You've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. It's hard. It's hard. Oh, man, it feels great. Oh, yummy. Oh, how about a yummy? Oh, come on. Magic. Oh, my goodness. Guys, tasting nut.
I mean, that's what they want to do over there. That's fine, but that's not my forte. Patrick says, do you know the phrase one man's trash is another man's treasure? It's a wonderful saying, but a horrible way to find out that you were adopted. Damn, that's cold right there. Literally making Alvarez look good when he gets called up and won them the game yesterday. Then he hits a home run today. Exactly. Mario says, Todd, do you think the downfall of Trout Angels coincides with Socha leaving? It does play a part. It does play a part because one thing we know about Socha, he was disciplined. He did not put up with divas. Seems like when he left, a whole bunch of divas came to this team. Dan says, at least football season, I know my Rams will win the division. No. Strange says, Trout no longer has the torque or the boom in every other baseball over the wall to hit a baseball over the wall. And as far as the pitching rotation, bullpen, it's not even consistent. And the only thing consistent is me saying on a nightly basis, D's nuts.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Demetrio says, late check-in is an NHL season. No, we still got a couple months to go. Trout is hitting 346 with runners in scoring position this year, leads the team in OPS. Only guy that will take a walk. Imagine this team without him. We saw it for a while, Luke, and we've been seeing it. I believe that his bat is a bit replaceable. I would not like that to be facts, but I'm telling you, it can be, and that's the problem. I would love for him to get to elite status, but I don't think so. For him to get back to all-star status would be huge, and I want that. Vote Bonds for Hall of Fame says, I saw they're doing openers to match up our better starters against the division series. Now those series matter a lot less. Yeah, if you can't win today, my thing has always been when I played is you win today, you worry about tomorrow. This team doesn't feel that way. It's not like we're sitting here 4 games in first place or in the wild card. We're sitting 4 out. So you want to win the game you're currently playing or going to play. You don't say, hey, we got to set up our pitching matchup. That's so stupid. That is so stupid. I mean, if it's dumb, we're like, hey, we're all in. Luke says, where was anyone else today with a clutch hit? There wasn't. There wasn't. You're right, Luke. There wasn't. Also, Tyler says Rendon won't return and we don't give an F. Stay away. Dan says, I am with other teams are garbage. They got worse. Or, yeah, when the other teams got garbage, they got worse. Up there to Ozzy right there. Absolutely. That sucks losing him today. I think Rally Chris gave the Rally Monkey AIDS, Dan Rios says. DJ says, will you be there for the Halos Ruth Field Revolution? Yes, I will be, DJ. So if you want to come out and say hi in the right field spot, I will be there as well. I won't be there Thursday and Friday, actually. I just remembered my kid's birthday's there, so we're going to be at Disneyland. And I won't be on here Thursday, Friday. But Saturday, Sunday, I'll be back. And I'll be at the stadium for sure. Also, is it duck season yet? Eric Ward says Rams open up camp today. There's some good news. Horns up. Mario says, wow, Todd rooting for the Lions to beat the Seahawks. I'm a realist. Do I think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl? No. Do I think they'll be in the playoffs this year? Yes. But they're not going all the way. You know, I can admit that. We're going to beat the hell out of the Rams. I know that. Mateo says the last time Trout came in during a clutch situation was 2015 when he hit a grand slam off Chris Sell. Start to sell the team chance on Friday, Christian Moore says. Artie is a billionaire. He's got money to stay alive for the next 30 years. Patrick says Rams for me. He's a Rams fan. I think we'll win tomorrow, maybe even take Thursday's game just to fuck with the fans and lose Friday. 1 step up, 2 steps back. Eric says, I wish Stan Kroenke would buy the Rams, or I wish Stan Kroenke would buy the Angels you met. He'd spend money and we'd win. Yeah, he already bought the Rams, as you said, but he would. Skull Zone, Big Daddy Todd. Jeez, this guy. Is Pomona Inland Empire or L.A.? Good question. I think that falls in the Inland Empire. Let's see. Me and Eric, the man wins in the NHL too. Also, yeah, he does with the the Colorado Avalanche. Based on the fact that the rest of the division got weaker, the Rams have an even better chance of winning the division. Last place will be the Whiners again. No, that's the Cardinals, because the Cardinals don't matter. They literally don't matter. They are the who gives a fuck team of the NFL. They really are. Thice says this loss hurts more. We're going to sell now. I agree. I think last night's loss was even worse. Stan Kroenke could be interested in the Angels again if Artie were to sell again. I wish he would. Those balls, Grandpa. Also, what was Papa Fox saying the last 2 games? He's just disappointed. Like, he doesn't even have much of a take anymore. I've been wanting to get him on the show, and he's just not up for it. He wants to see them win. Rams are loaded. We're taking the West if they stay healthy. Oh, please. Don't fall for that again. Listen, I know that he's a genius, but I still don't think the Rams are going to take it. What does my dad have in common with Nemo? They both can't be found. That sucks, Patrick. Let's see. Jeez. See, I like Christian Moore. Rams suck as much as the Angels. Seahawks win in the division. Max says, if you could get one Angels legend back in the starting lineup, who would it be? Vladimir Guerrero. Hands down, Vlad Guerrero. Hot take, Carolina win in the South. I could see that. Strange says, what could be worse besides losing? Walking into Chico's bar and being asked, what's your slugging percentage? That's true. Last time I went to the Angels playoff game, son Mad Max was 10. Told him next year, still waiting. Oh, I'm sorry, Wolfman Jack. That sucks. Jack says Mike Trout is a loser. That's why he signed in LA. He doesn't want to play meaningful baseball. But hey, catch him at Eagles games this year with more excitement in his eyes than any point at the Diamond. You know what? That's a hater comment. But again, I can't argue that, because the last few years in the postseason, he's sitting there. You've even seen Gooby with that big ass smile, and they're just loving it up in that first row in the end zone. And you don't see any leadership from this guy. And again, that would be different if Socha were here. It really would. Bill says so many people taking this Mike Trout talk as slander, but just got to be realistic that he's not the unstoppable force he used to be. And exactly. Even we're saying it, that Mike Trout used to be the guy. He was the man. He was everything that every team wanted. But at some point, like I said, when you're in baseball, my manager told me in Lynchburg, if you do not adjust to the teams adjusting to you to better yourself, they will adjust to you and you will get passed by. You will not advance. You will not get better. If you're stuck in the same thing, they figured you out, you're never going to get better. And the game itself will pass you by. So you always have to evolve as a player. You always have to get better as a player. If you stay the same way, you will be treated the same way, and you will play yourself right out. Deuces Wild says, do you think Socha would ever come back? No. He, with a pedigree that he had, he would have made another team's roster. The problem is he doesn't fold to analytics. He's going to stay where he's at. And analytics, until it's gone from baseball, or there's a team that says you don't need to use it, will go pure gut. Mike Socha will never manage a major league game ever again. Dan says, Todd want to have another bet. Sea Chickens aren't winning it, and the Whiners have nobody for Purdy to pass to. I will take that bet. James Lemieux says, Cam Ward, baby, tighten up. Yeah, the starting quarterback was hurt, went down. So that dude's going to start. I was digging in my garden and found a chest full of gold coins. I wanted to run straight home to tell my wife about it. Then I remembered why I was digging in our garden. As a Rams fan, the Niners are the ultimate enemy. Max says, why Vladimir Guerrero? His defense, his hitting, his leadership. He didn't even have to talk English most of the time. And guys wanted to follow that guy. Infectious smile. The guy breeded winning. He was great. And he was super duper clutch. He really was. Todd, the comedian. No, I don't think so. Eric says, can't wait for football season. We could talk smack again. Mario says, my quarterback to lead the Bears to a championship this season, his zesty quarterback, or have a better record than the Jets, Seahawks, and Cowboys. Well, I'll take that bet any day. Rally Chris says, Trout was too excited before the season started when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Now he's just sucking and not being clutch. Wow. Paint those nails, baby. Also, Trout didn't sign in LA. That make him a Dodger, learn geography. Also, Trout is washed. Give him a couple games off, and he'll put him down in the lineup, please. Again, if he's hitting lower in the lineup, he'll get better pitches to hit, and he'll actually come through. And Skull Zone is trolling. Rally Chris says Rams will be in third place this year, and you could put that in the bank and deposit it. I just worry about their genius coach because he always gets the best out of that team. All right, so I think we come to an end tonight. Angels chalk up yet another loss.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
We're not even by winning right now, and that's the problem too. Because again, if we were winning, it'd be great.
And by winning, I win here and I win there. Now what?
And in honor of our boy Grillmaster not being here, let's play some super zesty. Because Skull Zone is right here, too. Let's play some super zesty Roger Lodge.
Pretty cocky. I want balls and
John Stamos.
Well, yeah, he was pretty cocky, but hold on. Where's the other one?
Let me tell you something about my guy, John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old
balls and running up my butt right now.
You get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos
choked on me.
He was so great.
Eric says Darnold is a choker when it counts. He needs an offensive line. Max says, well, I was here for the entire time, for the very first time. Well, I appreciate that, Max. Patrick says, my wife left a note on the fridge that said, this isn't working. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I opened the fridge door and it was working fine. Damn, you got some dark jokes. Why is it always LA Doyer fans that hate Angels fans more recently? That's because it is, man. It really is. The Dodgers won't admit it, but they do hate Angel fans. They really do. So with that being said, and I appreciate that, Max. You're the best for being on here. I really appreciate everybody. And no, I don't use that toothbrush. I'm sure you do, though. You're a Vikings fan, so you'd have experience with that toothbrush. With that being said, though, Angels take another loss once again. They lose 3-2 to the Mets. Try to avoid the sweep tomorrow, but the Angels are like, nah. Let's go with a bullpen game. That makes more sense. So we'll see what they have to do. You're going to have to get up bright and early. I'll be off work. I don't know. Around like 4 or 5 o'clock. Skull Zone. But yeah, I'll probably be on here tomorrow around 4 or 5 because I get off work late. And then the game will be long over. But we'll be here to recap it. I'm not like that shit podcast Cocked On or Locked On Cox. And we actually go to games because, again, we're fans. We got season tickets. All of our group here goes to games. They have never been to a game. And I think only one of them has this year. That's it. And he bragged about it like it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. But we give you real insight here. We don't blow smoke up your ass. We don't use StatCast to make ourselves appear to be smart. We actually played the game. So if you want the real Angels content, you come here. You tell your friends about us. You don't go to them and get bored off your ass and get 60 commercials in a 25-minute show. So if you want to be bored there, then go to them. If you want to get real stuff and get your comments read and possibly come on here, take a phone call, win shit from us, get swag like we have shirts and hats and we give out Angel tickets, well, then stay here with us. Like and subscribe to us. You know, it is what it is. We're fans like you. We're in the stands, and we'll be there at this homestand. So Deuce says, what time does your live usually start? It usually starts 5 to 10 minutes after every game, but I will tell you tomorrow's going to be way late because, again, I actually work. I don't live in my mom's basement like the other guys. So should Angels be worried about the offseason or postseason? Off-season, Rain. Off-season. And the Ape Coop. Also, DJ says, facts. And there you go. Everybody have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'm already thinking ahead. Good rest to your Tuesday, and hopefully while we're at work or whatever we're doing tomorrow, the Angels can get the W, at least salvage one on the road, and get the split, go 3-3, and come back home. And let's see how it goes. And Rain, if I had the answer to that, I would have a countdown meter. Everybody have a good rest of your night. Go Angels, baby.